At the beginning of the film, we see the main character leaning against a wall. Ruby gradually comes to her senses and looks around, trying to understand who she is and where she is. The girl sees a door opposite and decides to run towards it. However, Ruby is in for a nasty surprise. She can't get up. She looks at her feet and sees that her knees are bandaged. Soon, a man enters Ruby's room. Tom informs her that he is the one who has kidnapped her and will not let her go until she loves him. Ruby learns her name and that she studies at the law faculty. A girl crying asks what happened to her legs. Tom admits that he cut some ligaments. If Ruby wants to keep her legs, she must not move. In any case, Tom points to a tray that is standing next to her. On it, in addition to food, there's a painkiller and a contraceptive pill. Tom promises that he will help the girl wash and relieve themselves. The man also warns that trying to escape is useless. Tom leaves but soon returns to retrieve the tray. The man asks Ruby to take the pills, or she will get sick. When the girl falls asleep, Tom gently helps her to lie down. A new day is coming. The man brings breakfast and wakes Ruby up. Left alone, the girl crawls to her things, which are in her purse on the chair. Ruby discovers a small mirror and her driving license. Soon Tom appears. The man guesses that Ruby has moved, and because of this her pain increases. This forces Tom to give the girl an increased dose of painkillers. Soon Ruby wakes up, again unable to remember who she is or how she got into the strange room. Sighing, Tom again explains to the girl the rules of her stay. Left alone, Ruby finds a tennis ball in her pocket, which she had put before another memory loss. Soon Tom visits the girl and kneads her feet. The man tells her that it takes patience to recover from such an injury. Soon Tom helps the girl to wash herself by sponging her with a wet sponge. Ruby once again reaches into her purse to examine the strange injury she has picked up behind her ear. She breaks a mirror and hides its shard under the bandages on her leg when she hears Tom nearby. Ruby is unaware that a man has seen all her actions. Tom gives the girl pills, after which she falls asleep almost immediately. After putting Ruby down, the man switches off the lamp and starts a sound recording. On it, his voice repeats that the girl is suffering from a leg injury and will not escape. While Ruby sleeps, the man tidies her room. Finished with scrubbing the floors, Tom sits down in a chair and falls asleep. In the morning, he is awakened by the ringing of his alarm clock. The man switches off the recording and sits Ruby back down. Tom repeats that he has kidnapped the girl, and the cycle starts again. Ruby lives on Groundhog Day, periodically forgetting who she is. One day, she decides to mess up the pipe in the sink. Noticing the leak, Tom stands to fix it. Ruby uses this as a chance to have a conversation with the man. She asks what will happen if she never gets to love Tom. Ruby counters that a man in love wouldn't injure another man's legs to get his feelings reciprocated. The man doesn't answer and goes away, only to return later with a mop. Tom notes that the girl is getting better. The man realizes that Ruby might be getting bored, so he asks what to bring. She says it would be nice to provide her with a blanket and a pillow. Ruby also wants to pass the time, so she asks him to bring her a book. Tom gladly agrees to fulfill these conditions. The man also draws Ruby's attention to two paintings hanging on the wall. Tom admits that he wants to decorate the room a little. Soon the man arranges a sleeping place for Ruby and brings her a book. The girl suddenly realizes that she has read it before. Tom tells her that it is her favorite book. Ruby becomes thoughtful. She finds it strange that it is the only thing she remembers about her former life. Tom speculates that the book was linked in the girl's mind to a very strong feeling. For Ruby, it was a kind of trigger that restored some memory. Tom tells that the trigger can be various objects, smells, and sounds. The man promises to help Ruby with her memory recovery if she is patient. At one moment, Tom starts to lean towards the girl, but his action is interrupted by a beep on the clock. Soon the man returns to Ruby with lunch and offers her the choice of any hot drink. She chooses red tea and Tom soon returns with exactly that. Ruby wonders how the man could have known in advance what she would choose. Tom says with a smile that she was well prepared. Reading a book, the girl stumbles upon strange pages of text. Ruby guesses that the only way to read them is through a reflection. Using a shard of mirror, she reads one of the entries. Don't trust him. Ruby thinks for a moment, but is soon interrupted by the appearance of a man. Tom once again decides to please the girl and brings a dining table into her room. In honor of this, the man also decides to have dinner together and lays the table. Ruby sits pensively in front of her plate, looking at one point. When Tom draws attention to this girl, the girl explains that she is thinking about a book. A man tries to take Ruby's hand, and it ticks her off. She asks how many other girls Tom has left in the basement before. Ruby declares that love doesn't work through coercion, and it's weird to think that way. The girl is sure that she is not special, but just another toy in Tom's life. Afterward, the man hits the glass and hurts his hand. Ruby becomes embarrassed and says she doesn't want to be just another girl. Tom apologizes for scaring her and says that he has no one else but her. After that, the man gets up from the table and leaves the room. Ruby looks very pleased with herself. The next day, Tom visits the girl and examines her legs. The man says that she is about to get better. Left alone, Ruby remembers the strange note and removes the bandages. She sees that there is no damage to her legs. Ruby tries to stand up and realizes that she can walk. She approaches the door and pulls the handle, wanting to break away from her confinement. Ruby remembers approaching a similar door. She is then called out by a man who injects her with sleeping pills. Ruby continues reading the book when she suddenly remembers the hiding place she once made in this room. She pulls back one of the panels, behind which she sees a lot of matching sticks. At dinner, Ruby asks the man to light a candle. The girl reaches for a match, and to distract Tom, she tells him about a dream in which she is underwater and someone rescues her. At that moment, the man takes Ruby's hand. She pretends to cough to pick up the match. A man soon brings a new book for Ruby at her request. She uses the matches to make new notes on the pages of the book. This should help Ruby if she loses her memory again. Also at night, the girl secretly practices running to be able to get away from Tom. During the day together with the man, Ruby pretends that every step is difficult for her. She constantly plays along with Tom, pretending that a romantic relationship is possible between them. Tips for the future: Ruby leaves in several books that the man brings her. The girl continues to train secretly, and one day it is almost noticed by Tom. Soon the man offers Ruby an unusual dish at dinner. It awakens in the girl memories of how she ate this dish with Tom in a restaurant. Ruby realizes that she and the man used to be a couple. She continues to pretend to get closer to Tom. The man tells her about how they met. Tom also brings supplies for the girl so she can draw. One day, a man falls asleep while Ruby is making pictures beside him. Sitting on the floor, she goes stealthily to the door. However, Tom wakes up. Soon, Ruby goes to bed. At the same time, the man enters her room and adjusts her blanket. She suddenly sees footage of Tom making love to her while she sleeps. The next day, the man puts Ruby in front of him and starts dancing with her. The girl recalls that they once danced exactly the same way before going to different colleges. Tom said then that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with Ruby. She says that she finally remembers their love. Ruby switches on other music with the remote control and starts dancing in front of the man. The girl then sits on his lap and starts kissing him. Tom, however, pulls her away and tells her why he did it. During her studies, Ruby lived with a guy named Nick. One day, he made love to her without her permission while hitting her hard. Tom arrived at the same moment and attacked the guy, accidentally taking his life. After that, the man brought Ruby to his home. However, she stopped recognizing him. Tom realized that because of what had happened to Nick, the police would start looking for him. So the man decided to take Ruby with him and help her remember who she was. Tom learned that her amnesia had erased all memories of the terrible attack she was subjected to. The man also found out that long sleep was contributing to this, but that triggers could gradually bring the memory back. For a long time, Tom tried to remind the girl of who she was. The man tried many ways and finally came up with how to restore Ruby's memory. To do this, Tom had to pretend to be a criminal and make the girl believe that she could not walk. The man says that he loves Ruby very much, and she reciprocates, after which they stay alone. In the morning, the girl wakes up next to a sleeping Tom. Ruby takes his life with the help of a mirror shard and then gets free. She tries to get into the boat, however she loses consciousness on the shore. Soon, Ruby regains consciousness in the hospital. The doctor informs her that the girl has suffered short-term memory loss. Ruby had an operation which was successful. Now the doctor can invite the boy into the room, who's very worried. The doctor leaves the room, and it turns out to be Tom, who has put on another mask. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video till the end. Give this video a like, write in the comments what you think about this film, and we'll see you in the next video.